everyone. This is David Stark from WatcherPass.com, your website for movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Today, I'm joined by James Bloor, who plays Patrick in Shoplifters of the World. We're going to talk to James in just a second, but first, let's check out the trailer. And while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. It helps me out a lot. Thank you.
The Smiths broke up.
What?
You know, the Smiths may be dead, but all the albums are still here.
I wish there was a way to get all the posers in this town to take notice.
I did have an idea. Something that would go down in musical history.
Impress me.
This night, we'll open our eyes.
To the charming man holding the radio station hostage. Thank you from all of us, right, guys?
Hey, James.
Hi, David. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yes, yeah, I'm very well, thanks. I'm very well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This is James Bloor, or Bloor.
Bloor, like floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is James Bloor, who plays Patrick in Shoplifters of the World. You know, it's a movie that is, I guess, inspired by a tribute to the Smiths. So I guess the first question is, you know, why'd you sign on to a movie with such terrible music? I mean, metal rules, right? Right?
Also, you know what? I hadn't even listened to the Smiths before this came along. Yeah. And then I got really into it. I mean, we had the music going on a lot on set, and you know, so that we could, because a lot of it is, you know, there's a lot of dancing and stuff. So you know, it was good to get in the right rhythm and stuff. And after a while, I mean, initially, I'd always found Morrissey's voice just quite, you know, sometimes you just butt up against a voice, don't you? But I just grew to really like the sort of the whole vibe in the end.
Yeah, I will admit I also did not listen to the Smiths before this, and this is like a vehicle to kind of get you into the Smiths. I'm excited to talk to the director and writer just to kind of see if this is this like a secret indoctrination type movie, because it's fantastic. Like it's the soundtrack plays throughout and it kind of syncs up with what's going on. So I guess, yeah, did you? I know you said it was playing on set, but did you listen to them beforehand to kind of get a feel for the role, or was it just kind of, you know, once you got there, you just kind of were, you know, I guess, entrenched in the world?
I did listen a bit beforehand. Stephen knows an extraordinary amount about music, and his background is in music documentary making. And he has an encyclopedic knowledge of music, particularly from this period, actually, from the 1980s. I think from the 70s as well, actually. But he gave us each actor a specific playlist that he felt resonated with their character, or sort of spoke to their character, or kind of gave a feel of what he wanted from them. So I remember I had all sorts on there. Smiths had Bronski beats. I think who else I had on there now, but you know, quite a few 80s bands that I'd never heard of. Susie Sue, and yeah, so got to be acquainted with quite a lot of new tunes. Yeah,
which is awesome. That's a great way to kind of prepare. And I guess the other thing is, you know, I assume you're British from your accent, or, you know, some sort of non-American, and you're playing an American youth in this film. So did you have to kind of do any other background for that, or did you just kind of watch? I mean, I'm sure they're popular American television and movies where, you know, you kind of saw them growing up. So did you just kind of have that in your background, or?
Yeah, yes, I'm playing American here, and I'm British. So yeah, just a case of switching my accent over and pretending to be in Denver. We shot in upstate New York, although it's set in Denver, Colorado. I've never been there, actually, but upstate New York was stunning. Like the what was it, the is it the Catskill Mountains that are there? We kind of drove around and had a little look at those, and
yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah,
that's really impressive, because I mean, I haven't spent much time in Denver, but I couldn't tell. I guess, you know, if you have a nice mountain town, it probably kind of can play anywhere. So
yeah.
So I guess, what was it specifically about this character in this role that, drew you in, like kind of like what it was that spoke to you for this role? Because since you hadn't listened to the Smiths, and you didn't grow up in America, so I guess what was it about this character that really spoke to you about?
He's gay, and
Oh.
I'm gay, and I've never played a gay character before, and that opportunity just hadn't really come along for me yet. So I leapt at this when it came along, and yeah, his arc is, it's truly not giving much away, because I think basically his first line in the film is "I'm not gay," in a very way which indicates that he probably is. So I don't think to give away by saying this, that his arc is sort of one of exploring that, and and also in the in the late 1980s, not an easy thing to be coming to terms with as a young person. Not that it's easy now either, really, for people, I think, as well, but particularly then, with sort of going into the real sort of hot end of the HIV/AIDS crisis and so on, a lot of fear. But the film, that was what really made me sort of leap at it, really.
Yeah, and I love that aspect of the character, because as I agree with you. It would be tough to come out in that time. I can't even imagine how difficult that would have been. And I loved that your character was coming to terms with that. You saw a lot of kind of emotion and denial, but then also you saw a lot of acceptance around him, which I think, I don't know if that was unique for that, at that time. If that was, I imagine that's probably not something that you would experience if you were growing up in, I think it's kind of portrayed as a small town, although Denver, I think, is a pretty big city, but still, like, your character, even though he's kind of coming to grips with it, he's surrounded by, this caring group of friends that really kind of help him along the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, and I think that's a lovely message, and it's a lovely thing to see, as a, it's just that's a lovely thing to see out there as a story, and as an option.
Yeah, and also it was I also love that your character's journey of self-discovery. It was an important part, but it seems like every character's journey to kind of discover themselves and discover what they wanted were kind of intertwined into this film. So there wasn't one. It didn't really feel like there was one main character. It felt like everyone's story was kind of progressing throughout this crazy night.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. Yeah, I think was it? Yeah, it's. The other thing that I really responded to was the sort of positive, just the sort of overall positive nature of the film and the story, and like you say, the sort of ways that the friends connect and fall out a little bit, but that there's a lot of repair that goes on, and a lot of love and a lot of care, and and Helena, who I think has the the real main character. I think everyone's performance is really really lovely, but I think she's really stunning in that role.
No, definitely. And I also loved, it seems like in our current time, it seems like a great message to have, where it seems like one of the underlying themes of this movie is, if you just kind of get to know people and accept people for who they are, you can find common ground, you can see them as people, and that just kind of shines throughout the movie, and with all the characters' interactions. So
oh, that's so good to hear. I think that's how I felt reading the script, for the first time quite some time ago now, and that's how I felt watching it as well. So yeah, I'm really glad. And that whole that whole bit which I didn't really get to see at all until actually watching the film recently, but the whole two-hander with Ellar and Joe, that's great. It's just it's lovely. I mean, it's really funny for one thing, but it's it's lovely to see an arc where it's two people who are they're completely sort of violently opposed in their views and their tastes, and actually by the end they've found so much common ground. And I don't know. I don't see too many pieces which sort of show an arc like that. You know, I think it's really positive.
Yeah, no, agreed. It was, it's one of those movies that it kind of starts off and you're kind of wondering where it's going to go, and then kind of as it's going, kind of like an album. I kind of describe it as an album. You have to watch the entire thing from start to finish. But as it's going, you kind of it gets deeper and you get more meaning in it. So, yeah, I really liked that arc as well. I liked all the characters' arcs. It felt like a really good self-contained story.
Nice. I'm really glad about that.
And speaking of the cast, it sounds like you had a good time with them. What was it like working with them? Had you worked with any before? Did you all do anything to kind of establish this friendship that you all shared during the film?
No, I don't think any of us had. I think actually Nick and Ellar might have crossed paths before on Boyhood, maybe, but yeah, by and large, we were all completely fresh to each other, and we just dived straight in. I think we had about, if my memory is right, I think we had about 24 hours before we sort of landed, put our stuff in our rooms, and then got cracking pretty much. It was like 1 or 2 days, and then we were filming. So we just sort of we all just had to jump in the deep end with making that friendship, really.
Yeah, the best of friends.
Yeah, we got to spend a lot of time with each other, and also there was an element as well of, from that they've all been away. So, well, not all of them, but Patrick's been away at college for a semester. So, and so there is a sense of them coming back a little bit afresh to one another, even though they've known each other a long time. So, but yeah,
it's natural. So I'd like to switch. I call it the lightning round. It's just very short, lightweight questions about you to see how your experiences map to some of the scenes in the film. You can feel free to pass on any of them. I won't feel offended. I try to make them answerable, but you can feel free to pass on any of them.
Okay.
First question is, have you ever quit meat?
I have, yeah, I have. I was vegan for a while. My ex-boyfriend and I were vegan for quite a long time, and then yeah, I actually what broke my veganism was I went and I did some acting work in Canada about 1.5 years ago in Quebec, and I don't know if you've ever been to Quebec, but they like meat there. So I didn't actually have meat, but I got into yogurt, and yogurt led to chicken.
It's a slippery slope. I've always wanted to go vegan, but the most I can ever go is like a day, because it's tough. I mean, I respect people that do it, but it is very tough.
There's a lot of effort on it. Yeah.
Have you ever worn eyeliner other than in this film?
I have. Yeah, I used to wear eyeliner when I was a teen. Yeah, not every day, but I did used to wear some. I like the eyeliner look.
Yeah, it's a good rebellious look.
Yeah, although when I did it, I used to do it quite a lot at uni, and but I would smudge it a lot, so my eyes would be all like quite a lot messier than Patrick.
Well, yeah, it's a look. like Patrick says, it's a look. What music did you listen to in high school?
Lady Gaga.
It's a good band, or artist, I guess would be.
Yeah.
I imagine you still listen to her now.
She was my one and only. Yeah, I do still listen to her now. I absolutely love Chromatica. But there's other people around now as well.
So if you could force a radio stations don't really exist much anymore, so I guess a Spotify station to play, one artist, one band all night long, what would it be? Would it be Gaga, or would it be someone else?
You know what? At the moment, it would be PJ Harvey.
All right.
PJ Harvey. I've really got into her recently. What's the album I've been listening to? Songs of the City, Songs of the Sea. Been really into that album. And what was the album? There's another one. To bring you my love. That album. I've just been going through her whole back catalogue. It's immense. So perfect. Good.
So, yeah. I will check it out, or check her out.
Yeah, check her out. Songs of the City, Songs of the Sea is stunning. She has this song on there that she does with Tom York. It is absolutely beautiful.
Awesome. And what was the first record that you ever owned, or first tape, or CD. Maybe that was all before your time.
I think me and my brother had a S Club 7 cassette tape when we were really small. Yeah.
Perfect. And what was the last album you listened to? Was it the PJ Harvey album?
It was, yeah. To Bring You My Love, I think it's called. Yeah.
Perfect. And last question. What was the last Polaroid that you took?
Ooh. You know what? It took a while to shoot this film, as in, you know, the casting was done, and then it took a while to actually get everything in place to shoot it. And I went out and got myself a Polaroid camera because I was so excited. I was like, oh, I'll get it. I'll practice taking some Polaroid photos. I took loads, and then I ended up giving it as a present to somebody. And then I didn't have it anymore by the time that I was then shooting the film. So, yeah. So the last Polaroid that I took would have been, I don't know, about a year or so before actually doing the film.
You practiced. You did a great job with it.
Too funny.
So the film comes out March 26th in theaters and digital. I imagine you're promoting the film now. What's next for you on the horizon? Do you have any other projects coming up, or are you just going to take some relaxation time and listen to some music? Or
I have for the past year been working on an audio drama that I've written and directed, and the first episode was released yesterday. It's called Soft Voice.
Nice.
And it stars Naomi Scott, Olivia Cook, and Belle Powley. So that's just come out. That's what I've been working on. I'm just about to finish the post-production on it, and then I'm gonna have a good break. Yeah.
That's awesome. Is it coming out like a podcast or?
It is, yes. It's like a podcast comedy drama, and it's on Apple, on Spotify.
Awesome. Well, I'll make sure to check that out. So check out Soft Voice and check out Shoplifters of the World. They're both coming out soon.
Shameless plug there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for talking to me about this film. It was like you said, it was just such a fun, positive type of movie, and I really I didn't really expect I didn't really know what to expect going in, but I really just kind of enjoyed the whole story arc. So
I'm so glad you did. I mean, I have to. I mean, I would all of us, everyone who's involved with it. We've all said countless times that as soon as we opened the script, I mean, there was just something about the script that you could just tell that it had been written with so much care and so much attention to detail, and there was just a lot of love in the script. It was very, very heartwarming to read, and then to actually go and make it was a real treat. It was a real treat. Stephen is he's a pretty stellar guy. No,
you could definitely feel the love of both kind of the band and also just kind of this time in people's lives. Like you could really see how much care he put into the characters. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to seeing how more people watching it and see what people say about this film. I think it'll be a good experience for a lot of people.
I'm so glad. I'm really, really happy to hear you say that. And thank you for your time as well, David. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. That was James Bloor, who plays Patrick in Shoplifters of the World. Shoplifters of the World is coming to theaters and digital on March 26, 2021. So if theaters are open and you're comfortable, you can see it in theaters. And if you want to check it out at home, you can do that as well. Just make sure to have a good sound system. The soundtrack is stellar. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot to make sure all my new interviews go straight to you. And as always, please go to watchyourpast.com for all your movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Thank you.